Welcome back to the garage, everybody. This is going to be a short video because there's only a couple little things that we were buttoning up on this until more parts arrive, but I'm going to show you what I'm doing. Some big news is that our tires finally arrived. We got the Nankang CRS in a 315/30/18, and here they are on the car. I think we get some pretty good fitment there. Also, well, I can't show you right now, but I test fit one on the front here, and all I needed to do was bend this flange back a little bit. Right now they're sitting at ride height. Right now the car is sitting at ride height because I have these rods in here instead of a shock absorber, but it clears everything. I went up through the range of motion, clears everything. So that's awesome. Front, rear. We've ordered our wheels. We've got some BC forged 18 by 11.5 with a 7-inch back spacing, and that will work front and rear. The rear will need a spacer to have the proper fitment back there, like nice fitment, but that's all. The other thing that I've been doing is fitting the radiator, the fan shroud. So I made this fan shroud, and there's my two little Spall fans, and so obviously it goes like that. I used the riv nuts all around. So this is where I ran into trouble. So the radiator, all right, so the radiator has this flange here across the top and the bottom, and you'll see the riv nuts here that hold the shroud on. So they have the matching holes there. Everything went absolutely swimmingly putting that all on until I got to this one right there, and I was drilling it, and I went a little too far, and I drilled a hole into my rad. You can't see it, but it is damaged. It's damaged back there. Huge mistake. I was pretty damn upset about it. Still am. So the only way to fix it would be to take all this off, fix that behind there, and then put all this back on. And that seemed very impractical, knowing like my aluminum welding skills are not good enough to do that with this. So and I know how much my local shop would charge. I may as well just buy another radiator. So I have bought another radiator, so that's coming, which means I have to do this modification all over to it again, and I'll just transfer these brackets that I made. I'll transfer them over. Very frustrating, extremely frustrating, but mistakes happen. The other thing is I have this MSD solid state relay. So this is the relay for the fans, and they come in black or red. It's good for, how many amps is this? It's like, I can't remember the amps this thing's rated for. Wait a minute, let me look. All right, it can have four items coming off it at 20 amps each, or 2 items at 40 amps each. So I'm gonna have 2 fans on it, so I'll do the 40 amp thing. But anyways, so it's solid state. You put your wires in and out. This is the power to the battery, and these 4 go to the fans or whatever items that you have on there, and then these are your triggers down here. So that's where that's going to sit, because it's nice and close to, my wiring harness on the inside of the car for the triggers coming off of the ECM. So that's that. So yeah, just a few little things going on here with the car, nothing major, but can't wait to have those wheels arrive, and then I'll show you. We've been making some updates to the Pink Panther. We put a more appropriate size radiator in there now. And this one, it flows better because the water pump just couldn't keep up with the flow of that bigger one. Like, it just couldn't move all that volume of water. This one, it moves it really easily. I can't believe how well it's worked. And on this one, we now have an automatic fan control. So there's my automatic fan control, and I can override it on the dash, but if I don't, like, it comes on and it cools off automatically. As you know, I got dinged for being too loud, so I have this new exhaust system. Now, this is the straight pipe version of it. It comes out the top engine cover, and that's my mufflered version. So I'm gonna run this one because it's quite a bit lighter than the muffler. And if I still blow over, I'm gonna put the muffler on. The muffler really quiets it down actually. So that is, that's the change there. So those are the changes to the Pink Panther. Oh, one more thing. I put a new third link or top link for the diff. I welded up all that new back there, cut off all that old crappy welds that we did, and I did a new one, and I doubled the length of that rod. It used to be 12 inches, now it's 26 inches. So that involved building a whole front structure underneath there. I know it's underneath all my hoses, you can't really see it, but it's gonna provide a more consistent motion of the rear end because it's so much longer. As it goes through its motion now, it should be more consistent. So we'll see. I got a vent in a couple of weeks, so we're gonna see how those changes, all these changes, we're gonna see how they improve the car. So I ordered another radiator from Speedway Motors. It's their LS swap. It's swapping an LS into a 67 Camaro. That's what the kit is for. And when you actually measure it up, it's slightly smaller than what the 06 Corvette that this engine came out of. It's slightly smaller than that radiator. So I had some concerns about its ability to cool. But I thought, well, you know, I'll put dual electric fans on it and everything. And I got the big oil cooler and everything. It's, we'll see what happens. Okay. We'll see what happens. Well, Speedway Motors, contacted me and they had canceled the order. I guess there was some kind of a discrepancy between, they quoted me on shipping to my US address and I was actually getting it to my Canadian address. Anyways, they canceled it and they wanted me to redo the order. And I thought, well, hold on a second. I have this giant radiator that came out of the Pink Panther and it was new. Let me measure that thing up. So I measured it and it's quite a bit bigger than the one as part of the LS swap kit that Speedway Motors has put together. Then I test fitted it in the car. It's shorter, but quite a bit wider. And, well, let me show you what happens. Fits. Now, it's not to say that there wasn't some modifications necessary. Now, the reason that I had the layback radiator was because I really want to use this air box. I don't like it when all these LS swap guys take this and they put a 90-degree in it and they have it all coming over, you know, over there or whatever. I just think doesn't look very good. So this radiator, this is the one out of the Pink Panther. It is thicker this way and wider, like its square inches are much more than that other rad. And by lowering it in the car, because it is actually smaller this way, I was able to put that air cleaner in there like that. So, yeah, that's it. It's the same height as the cross member. So that's not a problem. And the hose that I made, all I had to do was change this one end on it. Remember, it had a 180-degree bend here. And I was able to do that with just the 90. So now I need to get a lower hose there to go into... I had it converted to an AN fitting, so that's an AN fitting down there, AN 16. Hopefully that's enough. And yeah, that's that. The other thing is check out what arrived. These are the Ring Brother hood hinges. They're so beautiful. They're the most beautiful hood hinges I've seen for these cars. And I've got them in there now. And these struts are supposed to be designed for a fiberglass hood. So hopefully when our hood arrives, fingers crossed that hood arrives soon, then these will be the way to go. So they still seem like it's got a lot of resistance on there, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We have come to the end of the video. So you got some Camaro content, you got some MGB content, and I have an event this coming weekend. So we're going to see how the changes will work out with this. You know, follow along, and we'll be posting a video on that unless it was a complete disaster or something happened. I will be competing with the car with the changes. And as some of you know, I am selling the Pink Panther, and that's because I have the Camaro, and so I don't want to just park this in a corner somewhere to collect dust. I want to run it, I want to see it running, and it'd be great if somebody else could take it on and carry on its development. So like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.